In June 1978, 22-year-old Yoko Taguchi finished her late-night shift at a cabaret club in Tokyo. Just after midnight, she walked out of the building and disappeared without a trace. At first, her friends and co-workers assumed she had simply quit her job, and her case eventually went cold. Everything changed nearly a decade later. In 1987, a South Korean passenger plane was destroyed by a bomb planted by two North Korean agents. One suspect died before being captured, but the other was arrested. During questioning, she revealed that she had spent years training with a Japanese woman named Yoko Taguchi, who had taught her the language and culture so she could convincingly pose as a Japanese citizen. The confession confirmed that Yoko hadn't disappeared voluntarily. She had been abducted by North Korea. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered an even darker truth. Yoko was only one of many victims. Between 1977 and 1983, multiple Japanese citizens mysteriously vanished. Some were kidnapped while walking home from school, others while heading to class, or even during vacations abroad. Most were ordinary people with no connection to politics or espionage. Many were reportedly taken to North Korea to train spies in Japanese language and customs, or to have their identities stolen. Although North Korea later admitted to some of the kidnappings, it claimed only a small number of victims existed and that most had already died. However, DNA tests on remains returned to Japan raised serious doubts, leading many investigators to believe that some victims may still be alive. Today, Japan officially recognizes 17 confirmed abductions, but some estimates suggest the true number could be in the hundreds, making it one of the most shocking real-life conspiracies ever uncovered. Some conspiracy theories are eventually proven false. Others turn out to be far more disturbing than anyone expected. One of the most shocking examples involves a secret weapon allegedly created by the CIA during the Cold War. For years, rumors claimed the agency had developed a special gun capable of killing someone without leaving behind any obvious evidence. Most people dismissed the story as another outlandish conspiracy. That changed in the 1970s. Following a series of allegations that the CIA had carried out illegal surveillance and assassination plots, the U.S. Senate launched an investigation into the agency's covert activities. During the hearings, CIA Director William Colby was questioned about several classified programs, and one of the most surprising revelations involved a weapon unlike anything the public had ever seen. The device fired a tiny poison dart using a nearly silent mechanism powered by a battery. Instead of causing an obvious wound, the dart produced little more than a small red mark, similar to a mosquito bite. Once inside the body, the dart was designed to dissolve completely, leaving almost no physical evidence behind. Even more alarming was the poison itself. The dart contained a highly toxic shellfish toxin that could trigger symptoms similar to a sudden heart attack. Without any visible injury or remaining projectile, investigators would struggle to determine the real cause of death. When lawmakers asked whether the weapon had ever been used in actual operations, the CIA claimed it had only been tested and that no official records showed it had ever been deployed. Whether that statement was entirely truthful remains a subject of debate. The weapon, often referred to as the heart attack gun, was displayed publicly during the hearings before disappearing from public view once again. To this day, it remains one of the most unsettling pieces of equipment ever acknowledged by a government intelligence agency. For centuries, sailors returned from long voyages with unbelievable stories of gigantic waves appearing without warning in the middle of the ocean. According to their accounts, these walls of water could tower well over 100 feet high and destroy even massive ships within seconds. Scientists refused to believe them. For decades, experts insisted that ocean waves simply couldn't grow that large. Any sailor claiming otherwise was usually dismissed as exaggerating or making up stories. Everything changed on New Year's Day in 1995. An offshore gas platform in the North Sea, equipped with advanced wave-measuring instruments, recorded an enormous wave standing roughly 84 feet tall. Unlike the old sailor stories, this time there was undeniable scientific evidence. The wave became known as the Dropner wave and proved that so-called rogue waves were real. Researchers now believe these giant waves can form when multiple wave systems combine at exactly the right moment, creating a single wall of water far larger than the surrounding sea. They often appear suddenly, giving ships almost no time to react. Some scientists now suspect rogue waves may explain the mysterious disappearances of countless ships ships throughout history. One famous example is the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, which sank in Lake Superior in 1975 under unexplained circumstances. A leading theory suggests the ship may have been struck by three massive rogue waves in rapid succession, a deadly phenomenon known as the Three Sisters. Today, rogue waves are accepted as a real and dangerous force of nature. Experts even estimate that several may exist somewhere across Earth's oceans at any given moment, reminding us that some of the world's oldest sea legends were true all along. During the 1920s, the United States entered one of the most controversial periods in its history: Prohibition. The production and sale of alcohol became illegal, but instead of stopping people from drinking, it created a massive black market controlled by organized crime. As illegal alcohol flooded the country, rumors began spreading that the government was secretly poisoning alcohol supplies to discourage consumption. Most people dismissed the claims as anti-government propaganda. Then tragedy struck. On New Year's Day in 1927, dozens of people in New York died after drinking contaminated alcohol. Medical examinations revealed they had been poisoned by methanol, a highly toxic form of industrial alcohol that can cause blindness and death. Investigations uncovered a disturbing truth. The government had ordered manufacturers to add poisonous chemicals, including methanol, to industrial alcohol so it couldn't be consumed. Officials believed bootleggers would avoid selling contaminated products once they realized how dangerous they were. Instead, criminal organizations simply ignored the risks. They continued selling the alcohol anyway, often filtering or disguising it before putting it back on the streets. Thousands of unsuspecting people ended up drinking it, leading to countless cases of poisoning across the country. By the time Prohibition ended in 1933, thousands of Americans had reportedly died after consuming contaminated alcohol. What began as a conspiracy theory ultimately became one of the most controversial public health decisions in American history. Today, seeing a gorilla at a zoo or in a wildlife documentary is completely normal. But just a few centuries ago, most people believed these enormous primates were nothing more than mythical creatures. They were spoken about in the same way we talk about Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster today. The earliest stories came from European explorers who traveled through parts of West Africa during the 1500s. One English explorer named Andrew Battelle claimed he had encountered enormous ape-like creatures roaming the forests near his camp. According to his descriptions, these mysterious animals were incredibly powerful, aggressive, and unlike anything anyone in Europe had ever seen. Since there was no physical evidence to support his claims, many people dismissed the stories as exaggerations or myths. Over the following centuries, similar reports continued to emerge from travelers returning from Africa, each describing giant human-like apes living deep within remote jungles. As the stories spread, artists began creating dramatic illustrations based solely on eyewitness accounts. These images often portrayed gorillas as terrifying beasts that attacked humans without warning. Before long, they had earned a reputation as bloodthirsty monsters rather than ordinary animals. Everything changed in 1847 when American naturalist Thomas Savage obtained a gorilla skull during an expedition in West Africa. It became the first real piece of physical evidence proving that these mysterious creatures actually existed. Soon after, more explorers traveled to Africa and confirmed the discovery. Some even managed to bring live gorillas back to Europe. Instead of the violent monsters people had imagined, they found intelligent, curious animals with surprisingly gentle behavior. Public perception changed almost overnight. Although adult gorillas were undeniably powerful, they were nothing like the savage beasts described in earlier legends. What had once been considered nothing more than an unbelievable myth had become a scientifically documented species. Interestingly, gorillas aren't the only animals that followed this path. Creatures such as giant squids, platypuses, kangaroos, and Komodo dragons were also once dismissed as unbelievable stories before their existence was finally confirmed. If you enjoyed this video and want more true stories, real-life mysteries, and unbelievable footage breakdowns, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with someone who loves strange and fascinating cases. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.